Why is it so hard for me to record? Okay. Okay, I finally started recording the video. Okay. Alright, so once again, this is our tutorial question. Di sini kita boleh nampak ada phylum Zygomycota dengan phylum Ascomycota. Can anyone try to guess what species this organism could be? Boleh cuba teka dia punya species apakah berdasarkan dia punya gambar? Anybody? You can hear me, right?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Does anybody want to have a go? What you think is the species for phylum Zygomycota? Berdasarkan apa yang kamu baca dalam nota yang contoh yang biasa kita guna. Okay. Mas Mira Ritzman cakap dalam chat, this is Rhizopus species. So that's correct. This one on phylum Zygomycota is most likely Rhizopus species. Okay, since I am writing by hand, I am going to underline the word Rhizopus. What about the one on the right? Walaupun tidak tepat lah. Okay, okay. So Alice answered in the chat, Penicillium species. So yes, that is correct. Walaupun kita tidak tahu apa dia punya spesies ini sebenarnya, tapi berdasarkan apa yang kita sudah belajar dalam nota, ini besar kemungkinan adalah Penicillium species. Dan untuk silibus kita memang biasa kita akan guna lebih kurang contoh yang sama sajalah balik-balik. Okay, so that is a good starting point. Then we can go on to question 2A. Structure A and B are spores of the respective phylum. Label structures A and B. Anybody want to try to answer? What is A and what is B? Okay, Marnie answered in the chat. A is spores. So spores is correct. Untuk ini spores correct. Or you can also call it sporangiospore. Dia bergantung kepada buku lah. Ada buku yang gunakan sporangiospore. Sebab dia keluar daripada sporangium. Alright, and then B. Anybody wants to answer B? B, conidia. Alright, good. Marnie, thank you. So this one is called conidia. Conidia untuk banyak, kalau dia satu saja kita boleh panggil dia sebagai conidium. Okay. So that's it. Begitu saja, very simple for question 2A. Now question 2B, I answered this before in last week's Google Meet because I think Marnie was the person who asked. Okay, ada orang tanya and then saya terus jawab. Okay, question B, how would structure B differ from Basidia in terms of reproduction? So this is from phylum Ascomycota. Dia punya B ini memang untuk asexual reproduction. Basidiomycota ataupun Basidia itu adalah sexual reproduction. So when you want to answer this question, how would structure B differ from Basidia in terms of reproduction? Then you're just going to say that B produces spores via asexual reproduction, while Basidia produces spores via sexual reproduction. Kalau kamu mau cakap, Contohnya kamu tidak gunakan term produces spores. Kalau kamu mau cakap sahaja structure B is involved in asexual reproduction, Basidia is involved in sexual reproduction. Then that's also correct. Yang penting kamu tahu mana satu yang asexual, mana satu yang sexual. That's all. Okay, so far so good kan? Saya teruskan sahaja. Kalau ada masalah, kamu tanya terus dalam chat ataupun boleh buka mic. Okay, moving on to 2C. What is the mode of nutrition for fungi? Describe how it obtains food. So this question has 3 marks. Does anybody want to try answering? Heterotrophic. Okay, it's heterotrophic and heterotrophic jenis apa?
Saprophytic and parasite.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so that is correct about the saprophytic. Okay, so the mode of nutrition for fungi usually we just say saprophytic. Kalau parasitic itu dia lebih kepada dia punya role in ecosystem or in ecology. For this one, the most correct answer is just saprophytic. Kalau kamu jawab heterotrophic sahaja tiada markah, mesti cakap saprophytic baru ada 1 markah. Sebab kalau kita jawab heterotrophic saja mungkin kita maksudkan holozoic. If it's holozoic, that is us, animal ya. Okay, so that is good. I'm gonna move on to this. And okay, what other things can we describe to get the full 3 marks? Ada sesiapa mau coba try explain? Main type pun boleh, no problem.
Miss,
Mhm.
kalau cakap fungi obtain their nutrition by observing organic compound.
Absorbing organic compounds. Almost there, almost there. Cuma kamu perlu cakap macam mana dia absorb. Untuk explain macam mana dia absorb, kita cakap dulu yang dia akan keluarkan enzim untuk mencerna makanan dia, baru dia serap makanan dia. Okay, so to put that into sentence, we can talk about the mycelium first. Kita boleh cakap part of mycelium. If you remember what is mycelium lah. Part of mycelium embeds in food source and secretes enzyme for extracellular digestion and the digested food is absorbed through mycelium. Into mycelium. So ini contoh jawapan saya yang paling skema. So berdasarkan jawapan saya ini saprophytic sudah ada 1 markah. Part of mycelium embeds in food source ataupun some of the mycelium enters cell of organism, macam-macam lah. Kamu boleh guna pelbagai ayat. 1 markah. Secrete enzyme for extracellular digestion, satu markah. Kalau kamu tidak guna ayat macam saya, contoh kamu tidak cakap secretes enzyme for extracellular digestion. Kalau kamu cakap secretes enzyme atau produces enzyme to digest food outside of body or outside of cell pun boleh. Sama juga maksudnya. And the digested food is absorbed into mycelium, 1 mark. Ataupun macam jawapan Rizman tadi, absorbs food, then boleh. Absorbs food pun boleh. Marni punya jawapan obtains food by absorbing dead matter, itu boleh 1 markah saja. Okay, jawapan Rizman tadi pun 1 markah saja. So you need to add this extra information. You can talk about enzyme, you can talk about the mycelium. So kamu nampak di sini dia ada 4 markah, tapi maksimum 3 markah saja. So you can choose which part you want to remove lah. Saprophytic mesti jawab. Okay, any questions about 2C? Okay, yeah. All right, then I'm going to move on to the next one. 2D. State one characteristic of fungi that are like plants and one characteristics that are unlike plants. Anybody want to answer this one? It's fairly simple. Marnie, I'll answer your question in a little bit, okay? Kita jawab yang 2D dulu. Okay, let's look at the answers here. Lim's answer, similar with plant, is alternation of generations. Alternation of generations is not the common answer because alternation of generations in fungi and alternation of generations in plant is quite different. Fungi are much weirder. So we usually don't use that point as an example, but good try, good observation. And okay, so Yap's answer in the chat is not motile. Not motile is correct. That is one characteristic of fungi that are like plants. So seperti tumbuhan, fungus tidak boleh suka-suka hati bergerak. Okay, so other examples of traits that are like plants, you can also say that it's eukaryotic, it's multicellular, it has cell wall. Boleh juga. Okay, so let's talk about the stuff that are unlike plants. Apa lagi yang tidak macam? Anyone? Answer for unlike plants?
Kalau cakap dia punya mode of nutrition,
Mode of nutrition? Boleh, boleh. So kita cakaplah dia punya mode of nutrition is what? Okay, so this one you already know. You could say the part that is unlike plants. Don't like, let me move this. The part that is unlike plants is mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. Boleh juga kamu cakap fungi cannot do photosynthesis. Okay, let me read the answers in the chats. Okay, Yap's answer. Fungi don't have organs. Plants also don't have what we name as organs. So that one we cannot use. Farah's answer. Fungal do not have chloroplast or chlorophyll. Okay, Farah's answer is correct. Kita boleh cakap fungus tiada chloroplast atau chlorophyll, itu betul, 1 markah. Eva says plants yang like plant. I'm just going to read Eva's answer. Eva's answer here is that yang like plant, jawapan dia adalah cell wall mainly made of chitin. Jawapan untuk unlike plant, lack of chloroplast. So Eva, for your answer, untuk yang like plant itu kamu buang bahagian chitin. Okay, kamu cakap have cell wall. Bahagian yang unlike plant, you can say it is lack of chloroplast. You can also say cell wall is made of chitin, not cellulose. Boleh faham, Eva? Okay, alright, good. Alright, so Lim's answer in the chat, yang unlike plant, jawapan dia adalah energy reserve is glycogen. Okay, so that is correct. Energy reserve for fungi is glycogen. Energy reserve for plant is starch. So that is correct. Lim asked in the chat, can I say for unlike plant, it is non-vascular organism? Cannot, because that is not the usual example, and some plants also don't have a vascular system, so it's not a good enough comparison. Okay, we try to go for the easier comparisons. All right, thank you for your answers, everybody. Okay, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Any more? Okay, so I think that's good. I can continue to 2E. Apart from causing illness to humans, fungi can also bring many benefits. State 2 of these benefits. Any answers for this one? Miss, kenapa algae tidak termasuk dalam plante? Algae tidak termasuk dalam plante sebab algae... What is the reason? Algae tidak termasuk dalam plante. I'm trying to remember why. I think it's more because algae share more characteristics in common with other members of Protista rather than in kingdom fungi. So dia ada beberapa kingdom fungi, kingdom plante. Okay. Soalan Mas Milani dia tidak berkaitan dengan fungi, tapi saya sudah terjebak. Jadi saya jawab dulu. Algae dia beberapa faktor lah. Bila diorang classify dia ke dalam kingdom ni, dia ada beberapa faktor. Pertama, dia tengok dari segi rupa luaran. So dari segi rupa luaran, dia tengoklah karakteristik yang kita biasa tekankan dalam kingdom plante adalah dia adalah vascular system, dia ada alternation of generations, and also in algae, the alternation of generations is not there, although they don't have vascular system. Some plante don't have vascular system. But the reason some organisms are still classified in plante, not as algae, is because we can prove their phylogeny, their relatedness. Those sound like big words, but let me make it sound simple. Selain daripada tengok rupa luaran dia, kita boleh juga tengok DNA, ataupun kalau kita tahu sejarah tumbuhan itu, sejarah organisme itu, kita boleh tengok keturunan organisme itu. So kalau kita tahu keturunan organisme ini, dia related dengan kingdom plante, kita boleh masukkan dia ke dalam kingdom plante. Tapi kalau kita tahu keturunan dia actually macam jauh terpisah daripada kingdom Plantae, dan kita tidak akan masukkan dalam kingdom Plantae. Which is why a lot of the algae, although they can be multicellular, they are still put under Protista. Short answer, it's complicated. Long answer is what I said just now. Okay. Alright. So, sorry, saya terjawab soalan Plantae tadi. Alright. So, I'm just gonna go into this question 2E. Apart from causing illness to humans, fungi can also bring many benefits. So, to answer this question, kita bagi jawapan yang baik-baik sahaja. Kita jangan cakap yang dia jadi parasit. So, for this one, we can talk about their importance in pharmaceutical industry. Oh, mana? In pharmaceutical industry, produce antibiotics. Okay, ini adalah kegunaan paling berguna lah untuk fungi, adalah kita boleh gunakan dia untuk hasilkan antibiotik, iaitu ubat untuk melawan jangkitan bakteria. Okay, another importance is it is used in food production. When we talk about importance in food production, we focus more about fermented foods. Kalau kamu mau cakap boleh dimakan, contoh you want to say fungi are important as a food source because we can eat mushrooms, that is also correct. But if possible, you give these other answers dulu lah. And they are also important as decomposers. Okay, dia menguraikan benda-benda yang sudah mati. Decomposers, supaya nutrients itu balik kepada tanah dan balik kepada ekosistem. And they can also act as symbionts to produce better plants. Ataupun kita boleh cakap juga as symbionts to grow better plants. Okay, so this last point that I am using, it is actually focusing on that example about mycorrhiza fungi. So they are I don't remember how many R, how many Z actually. Mycorrhiza. Macam salah kan spelling dia, nanti pandai-pandai lah kamu cari sendiri. But it's basically talking about the interaction between the fungus and the roots of the plants that make the plants grow better. Okay, so these are the 4 main answers you can use for these questions. Do you have any questions? Do you have any problems? Anything you want to ask me? Ataupun okay. Alright. So okay, ini saja untuk number 2. After we are done discussing the chapter, I will share you the answer scheme later. Tapi yang kita perlu habiskan sampai animalia lah, baru saya share answer scheme. Now I am going to answer Marnie's question in the chat. Marnie's question in the chat dari tadi, apa perbezaan antara symbionts dan symbiosis? To answer this question, symbiosis is the interaction between organisms. Okay, interaksi antara organism kita panggil sebagai symbiosis. Symbiosis could be commensal, it can be mutualistic, it can be parasitic. So ini yang macam kamu pernah belajar di sekolah tu lah. Kalau dia commensal, satu orang dapat kebaikan, yang satu lagi tidak kena apa-apa. Kalau dia parasitik, satu orang dapat kebaikan, satu orang lagi dimudaratkan. Yang A memudaratkan yang si B. Tapi kalau dia mutualistic means A ada kebaikan, B pun ada kebaikan. So symbiosis is just talking about the interaction. Interaction between organisms. Whereas the word symbionts means individuals or parties involved in symbiosis. Ataupun dalam arti kata lain, siapa yang terlibat. Okay, so you can say the symbionts in lichen. If for example lichen, ini adalah gabungan antara algae dengan fungi. The symbionts are algae and fungi. The symbiosis is mutualistic ataupun mutualism. Kebanyakan masa kita nampak simbiosis sahaja sebab mungkin orang yang mengkaji ataupun orang yang sedang tengok organisme itu, dia tidak tahu, okay, interaksi ni actually dia mutualistic ke dia parasitic. Saya tidak tahu. Jadi untuk selamat ataupun untuk bagi explanation secara umum saja, dia akan cakap symbiosis rather than saying mutualism or parasitism ataupun commensalism. Kalau dia tahu, dia cakap lah. But sometimes we just make it general. Symbiosis lebih tepat untuk describe lichen. Okay, so this is extra information, okay? Memang saya cakap sama kamu, lichen adalah mutualistic. Tapi ada sesetengah saintis yang berpendapat pada bahawa lichen ini adalah parasitic. Sebab macam algae itu mengkulitkan fungi itu. Okay. There are some research that suggest the algae is parasitizing the fungi. Like it is using the fungi and forcing the fungi to be in a interaction with the algae. So dia tengoklah kamu punya research macam mana. Okay, so yeah. Does that answer your question, Mani? All right, okay, Mani said, okay, thank you. All right, so that is pretty much all I have to say about this subtopic. Do you have any other questions before I move on to the assignments? No, okay, very good. Okay, I'm just very quickly going to get my laptop charger. In a minute, we're going to talk about the assignment itself. Okay, so quick 3 minutes break. Thank you. I'm back, but I said 3 minutes break, so kita tunaikan janji lah 3 minit rehat. All right, so we're coming back. I'm just setting up a few things before I talk about the assignment. Yep. Just so I have an example to show you later. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right, so let's come back. Okay, right. So everybody here, everybody ready? Shall I continue?
Yes,
Yes,
May.
Miss.
All right. Thank you,
Yes,
Rosella.
miss.
Thank you, Yap. Thank you, Rizman. Thank you, Eveliska. Thank you, Farah. Thank you, Farahin. Okay, let us continue. Now I am going to share with you the instructions for your assignment. I am sharing my screen. Okay, so this is the instructions for your assignment. Okay, the title of the task is Biodiversity Around Us. You need to make an infographic. Topic biodiversity, total marks 15%. Instructions to students. The assignment must be completed individually. Your work should be typed only and it should be submitted digitally. Please include your details such as your name, your metrics number, and your tutorial class. Plagiarism, meniru, and late submission will be penalized and this will refer under JST2 SP025. Ini adalah dokumen dia. Kalau janganlah ada yang sampai kena denda, so you don't need to care about this part because I don't want you to be denda. The draft submission is on the 11th of February, which is in week 6, and the final submission will be on the 4th of March, week 9. The main assessment criteria are as follows, which is integrity, jangan meniru, hantar on time, ada soalan tanya, saya bagi balik draft, tolong buat pembetulan ikut draft. So that is integrity. Contents, contents is the one with the most marks. As long as you make it accurate, apa yang saya minta betulkan masa hantar draft, kamu betulkan, should be okay. Include at least 2 references written in APA format, anything other than Wikipedia, and also include interesting visual elements. So your infograph should be something that is nice to look at, but still easy to follow the information. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so I can see you guys. Okay, I'm still sharing the screen. Okay, so far, any questions about the assignment itself? I would want to comment on number 2 lah. Your work should be typed only and it should be submitted digitally. Last sem, ada juga yang hantar kerja yang kamu tulis secara digital. You know, if you have iPad or if you have tablet or any touchscreen device yang kamu boleh tulis terus di PDF tu, that one you cannot do for this assignment, okay? Assignment ini saya mau bertype. So you have to learn to use that keyboard whether you like it or not. Alright. So for this one, oh actually the assignment is not as clear. Oh, alright. Ada pula dia punya second page. Yakin ko nun sudah siap baca. Okay. So this is your assignment. As a newly appointed wildlife biologist at a local wildlife rehabilitation center, you are assigned to classify an organism in your surrounding that caught your interest. You must find out its taxonomy based on the 8 levels of classification, its scientific name and common name in English, its level of cell organization, level of organism and feeding mode, its natural habitat, its IUCN conservation status, its roles in the ecosystem, and or its uses to humans, if there are any. And you need to take all this information and present all your findings using an infographic. You are encouraged to use apps such as Canva, Adobe Spark, PictoChat, or any other related apps or websites to create an interesting presentation. In your infographic, you must include a picture of the organism that you take. Gambar itu mesti yang kamu ambil, bukan kawan, bukan bapa, bukan mama, dan sebagainya. And state the location, the date and the time when the picture is taken. In addition, you also have to include a selfie of yourself in the location where you found the organism. This is to prove that it was you who took it and you were there when the picture was taken. Alternatively, you can include a picture of you with your chosen organism, as in holding it or standing close to it, only if it is safe for you to do so. Please include the location, date, and time when the picture is taken as well. So, kalau benda itu macam tidak boleh diangkat. Contohnya, kamu sedang tengok pokok durian. You of course cannot carry the pokok durian. Or if you're looking at a poisonous frog, you cannot hold the poisonous frog. So you need to take 2 pictures lah. Kalau benda itu kamu tidak selamat untuk diangkat, tolong ambil 2 gambar. 1 gambar organism, 1 gambar selfie kamu di tempat di mana kamu jumpa organism tersebut. If you are able to hold it or stand very close to it and you're not in danger when you're standing close to it, so contoh organism yang kamu pilih adalah ayam. Dan kamu mampu untuk tangkap ayam dan pegang ayam dan posing dengan ayam, then you can just share 1 picture of you holding the fish, the ayam. Kalau mau ikan pun boleh lah, tapi jangan yang ikan dari pasar. It should be ikan yang kamu tangkap sendiri. Okay, and then the size of the photo does not matter, and your lecturer have the right to ask for the photos directly to check for originality. So kalau saya mau tengok betulkah kamu meniru, menipu, mencuri gambar orang lain, saya boleh minta gambar original daripada kamu. And below are links that you can use to help you in your research. So these are several links to some websites that could be helpful to you. And we do want to remind you that although you are doing this assignment on your own, please remember to ensure your own safety and others' safety while completing the assignment. So try to avoid choosing organisms that are venomous, poisonous, or can harm you in any way, because we don't want to be responsible for you getting hurt. So kalau kamu sengaja pergi pilih organism yang berbisa, kami tidak akan menangis dan tidak akan tolong kamu. Sebaik-baiknya pilihlah organism yang tidak berbisa. Do not climb to high places or any locations that are unsafe to take pictures. This is not Pokemon Go. You don't need to put yourself at risk just to catch something. It's fine. You can just use a normal, boring organism as long as you don't get hurt. And also avoid crowding in a small place and practice social distancing always. Another thing I would like to add, if you are in college, please make sure that you are not accidentally entering kawasan larangan. So contoh, lelaki jangan guna alasan mau ambil gambar burung ka, ayam ka, cacing untuk pergi kepada dorm perempuan, dan perempuan jangan gunakan alasan ular dan pangolin dan cacing untuk pergi kepada dorm lelaki. Okay, so try to keep that. Sebab hari itu ada pelajar yang sudah excited, dia mau cari gambar pokok yang dia mau cari kan, dan dia pergi kepada dorm lain, and the fellow untuk itu dorm dia macam was-was. So yeah. Dari luar dorm boleh, jangan pergi masuk. No. And don't take picture of the people in the window. That's also bad. Okay. Just to summarize, you choose organism, any organism, you find this information, you put this information and the picture in the infograph, and then you send the draft to me. That's it. That's your assignment. Oh, also another thing, you cannot choose very common examples. So, I don't want any dogs or cats. Ayam boleh. Tapi kamu perlu cari gambar ayam itu sendiri. Pigeon boleh. Cacing boleh. Tikus boleh. Tapi kucing, anjing jangan. Manusia jangan. termasuk buaya darat, snakes in your friendship circle, that is also not accepted. So yang rupa macam manusia, tolong jangan guna lah, walaupun gaya dia macam haiwan ataupun babi. Okay, so don't use those examples, please. And what else do I need to tell you? Any questions? I will send this PDF to you later anyway, so don't worry. Miss, semut boleh kah? Boleh cari semut. What else do I need to tell you? Okay, I should show you the drafts. Okay, I stop sharing the screen. So I would like to share with you this one. Miss, the draft, can we send it dalam bentuk storyboard? Lia's question, can we send it dalam bentuk storyboard, which means lakaran lah kan? Lakaran, yes, you can send me your lakaran, but before the first draft punya due date. So kalau kamu mau send saya dalam bentuk storyboard, it should be before, what is the deadline here? What's my PDF? Okay, first deadline, draft punya deadline adalah 11 Februari. Kalau kamu mau send saya storyboard, hantar sebelum 11 Februari supaya saya boleh komen dan kamu boleh hasilkan draft sebelum 11 bulan. When I say send me draft before 11th of February, I mean something that looks like this. So ini adalah contoh daripada Beyonce anak Queen Bee daripada H50. Okay. Ini contoh infograf yang boleh dihasilkan melalui canva.com. Of course, dia punya assignment ini tidak perfect lah. They do have some mistakes here. So, for example, damn it, I cannot zoom. Oh no, I cannot zoom. Okay, rasa mau mengedit. Right, so for example, okay, we can have a look at this. Okay, yang penting ada nama, matrix number, tutorial group, ada sertakan gambar organism yang kamu gambar. Classification mesti ada dia punya 8 taxonomy. So 8 taxonomy dia contoh daripada domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus dan species. Dan perlulah ditulis dalam format yang betul. So contoh domain, Eukarya, kingdom, plante, phylum, magnoliophyta, class, Diliopsoda, order, Poalis, family, Poaceae, and then the genus Schizostechium, I don't know, Schizostechium, species, ini saya punya species, pelajar ini salah tulis species sepatutnya S. brachicladium. Okay, perlu sertakan nama jenis sekali. Perlu bagi common name dan scientific name. So kalau kamu tengok di sini contoh pelajar fictional ini, dia tulis common name bambu, bulu lemang, bulu nipis. Bambu boleh dapat 1 markah. Kalau kamu mau sertakan nama BM, nama IBAN, nama kadazan dia boleh saja, tidak masalah, tapi mesti sertakan nama English sekali. Scientific name has to be written in the correct format. So ada nama genus, ada nama species. Memandangkan ini adalah di type, kamu perlu kasih italics, tidak perlu underline. Okay. And then you need to tell me about its level of cell organization. So level of cell organization ini berdasarkan yang 5 kingdom system itulah. Dia adalah eukaryotic, level of organism multicellular, feeding mode autotrophic, photosynthetic. Okay, natural habitat is tropical region in forest or environments close to water. So natural habitat ini of course akan berubah bergantung kepada organism yang kamu pilih. Jangan kamu jumpa ayam, kamu cakap natural habitat dia adalah sky. Saya pukul kamu. Okay, and then you need to find out its conservation status. Conservation status ini Selepas kamu sudah identify dia spesies apa, kamu pergi kepada IUCN Red List website dan kamu cek di website sama ada dia punya data ataupun tidak. Kalau dia tidak ada data division. Later I will look at the IUCN website together with you. And then you need to tell me a little bit about its role in ecosystem. So contoh role in ecosystem kamu boleh cakap dia adalah producer, dia adalah decomposer contohnya, ataupun dia protect soil from landslide. It can be habitat for some animals, or you can talk about its role to humans. So contoh kalau tumbuhan yang kamu pilih itu boleh dijadikan ubat, then you can say it has medicinal use. Tumbuhan yang kamu pilih itu mungkin adalah makanan yang boleh dimakan oleh kita. So contoh kamu ambil sayur manis ataupun cekur manis. Then you can say the use of that plant is as food source. Okay, so pelbagai jawapan, of course you will have more than one answer for the role of your organism in the ecosystem. Ini tambahan sajalah, ini tidak markah. And then for references, as you can see in this example, there are 4 references in APA citation format. APA 7 edition, which is the same thing that I asked you to use last semester. If you send me your draft, I will comment on the references as well. So kali ini bila hantar draft, sila ingat untuk sertakan reference kamu. Okay, so here I have 4. Let's Talk Science is 1, Mazaji is number 2, Schizostachium brachycladium Malaysia Biodiversity Information System, MyBIS is number 3, IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, IUCN, it is number 4. You can do your references by hand, or you can also find website to help you make reference. Satu kekurangan pada assignment ini, contoh assignment ini adalah pelajar fiksional ini tidak sertakan muka dia di lokasi di tempat yang ambil gambar. So when you do your assignment, please remember to include a picture of yourself in the location where you took the picture. Kalau di jemuran kain kamu, ambillah gambar di depan jemuran kain. Make sure there is no colorful clothes if you are taking gambar in front of your jemuran. Okay, so far any questions? Kalau, tiada soalan. Kalau kamu mau guna bambu, saya tidak mau kamu guna bambu lah sebab saya sudah bagi contoh bambu. Tapi kalau betul-betul tiada idea, boleh juga lah. But you have to find your own picture. And actually this one, the answer is wrong. Dia bukan genus Schizocradium brachycladum. Ini adalah spesies lain. Lecturer lain sudah betulkan saya. Pelajar ni. Okay, so if there are no questions, I want to show you this website called Canva. Some of you use it already. Some of you never used it before. So now I show you. Oops. Okay, so this is canva.com. You may or may have never used this website before. Kalau kamu tidak pernah guna, ini adalah peluang yang baik untuk guna. So ini adalah canva.com. You can start by creating your infograph from scratch, or you can also use one of the templates. So contoh, kalau kamu mau gunakan template dia, contoh I want to make infograph. And I search infograph and I look which template I want to use. So dia ada banyak template yang kamu boleh guna lah, and then kamu edit saja. So you can see that's the typical punya infograph macam tu. I wonder if I can find the one that I used down here. Okay, so macam-macam jenis lah. Dia sudah sedia dia punya design, tinggal kamu masukkan information kamu sahaja. Okay, so many different choices. Go ahead and try that. If you choose the design, contoh saya mau guna design daripada Benjamin Shah or whatever this guy is. Okay, when you get there, you can of course edit the text. The title can be whatever, but please try not to make it unprofessional. Jangan yang terlampau main-main punya title lah, okay? title yang sesuai sedikit. You can type your stuff. You can also upload your pictures. So contoh you want to upload pictures from your computer, from your phone, you can do that. Canva also has a mobile app. I think I'm able to show you my screen. If you want to try, I suggest you to try sebab dia memang sangat membantu lah. I'm not sure if you can see. So they have the Canva mobile app and it looks like that. Inside that you just sign up lah. You can of course use it for free. You don't have to pay for anything. And it's pretty much the same layout. You can edit on your phone also. Thank you a lot. I'll talk about the IUCN website in a little bit. And if you don't want to use Canva or PictoChart or any of these other websites, you can always use Microsoft Word. Tapi kalau Microsoft Word, saya galakan untuk kasih cantik sikit lah. Jangan terlampau boring. So now I'm going to show you an example that I made using Microsoft Word. Okay. Ini menggunakan Microsoft Word sahaja. Ini assignment yang ada banyak salah lah. Okay, so this Diego bin Explorer, dia gunakan ada gambar, dia tulis common name, scientific name, taxonomy dia tidak lengkap, sepatutnya ada lagi genus dengan species. Dia ada tulis level of cell organism, feeding mode, habitat, conservation status, role in ecosystem, unique characteristic, references pun ada, tapi ada salah-salah sini situ, okay? So you see this is very simple. If you don't want to use the websites, you can use this. This one, I just use the text box. Insert text box. And then, bila kamu pilih itu text box, kamu boleh pilih dia punya warna. Make it colorful, make it interesting. I prefer nothing black and white lah. Kalau boleh sertakan banyak warna. And you're submitting it online anyway, so you don't need to print anything to me. That's all I would like to say about the software that you can choose. Only one picture, Kamis. Intan Nur Syamira, no, you have to include 2 pictures if you are not in the picture with the organism. So ada 2 option. Option pertama adalah 2 gambar. Gambar pertama adalah gambar organism. Gambar kedua adalah kamu di lokasi di mana kamu ambil gambar itu. Option number 2, option B is you take picture with the organism. So kalau organism saya adalah, what organism do I have here? Okay. Contoh. Alright, so contoh, my organism is this plant. Kalau saya ambil gambar dengan tumbuhan tu begini, then I can include 1 picture only. But if I take the picture of the plant like that, I need to include 2 pictures. Boleh? Dalam gambar kamu boleh pakai mask. So kalau yang malu-malu miau tu boleh pakai mask. Everything good? Okay, I'm going to continue with the question from Alot. What about the IUCN website? Okay, let's have a look at the IUCN website. Okay, so this is the IUCN website. The URL is iucnredlist.org ataupun kalau kamu Google saja IUCN, you should be able to reach this website. So this is what it looks like. They have a database talking about which animals are endangered, which ones are not. You can learn more about the IUCN Red List here. And these are the scales that they use. Ini adalah kategori dia. An organism may be data deficient. This is when they don't have any data and they don't know if the organism is is endangered or not. Least concern is when the organism is doing okay, like ayam, perfectly fine, no problem, tidak payah risau yang dia akan pupus. Near threatened, a little bit dangerous, you know. It's still okay, tapi any day dia mungkin boleh masuk endangered. Vulnerable, okay, start macam makin bahaya sedikit sudah. Endangered, ini hampir pupus. Critically endangered, sangat-sangat sedikit lagi mau pupus. Dan extinct. Extinct in the wild means that it's only in zoo or in conservation centers, but no longer in its natural habitat. There are some organisms that are like this. I think macam the African rhinos, a few of them are extinct in the wild. And last but not least, extinct. Kalau dia betul-betul pupus sudah, it will go under extinct. I don't think you will find anything that is extinct in KML or near your house lah, okay? Itu pelik sudah tuh kalau itu jumpa. So it should be somewhere between EW, CR, EN, VU, NT, LC, ataupun DD. So say for example, you are very lucky and you found pangolin. Contoh, kamu jumpa pangolin. So you go to this website, you Google pangolin. You should be, kalau ada dia punya maklumat dalam itu website, then kamu akan jumpa lah. So contoh pangolin, there's several different types of pangolins. Then you think, okay, mana satu yang lebih mirip haiwan yang saya jumpa? I think that one was more like the Philippine pangolin, for example. Okay. Okay, so then I look at its information. Oh, banyak. Okay, then I can see its classification in the Iucn red list. So contoh untuk Philippine pangolin, the status is critically endangered. Hampir pupus. So when you do your infograph, you put in there critically endangered bracket CR. Kalau contoh kamu cari ayam lah, chicken. Okay, kalau chicken, okay, you have some different types of chicken, or that is mountain chicken, which is a frog. Okay. Chicken steak. Okay, so as you can see here, nothing that I use. Okay, ini adalah ayam liar yang bukan ayam yang saya nampak. Yang saya nampak adalah ayam kampung. That means my ayam kampung is not in the Iucn list. You can say it is data deficient. Ataupun least concern pun boleh. Biasanya organisme yang masuk dalam red list ni adalah organisme yang kita risau akan pupus lah. Sebab itu yang diorang akan research dulu. Macam ni, this is critically critical, vulnerable, least concern. Okay, kalau kamu tidak pasti, it's okay. Just cari organism dulu yang dia punya conservation status, boleh cari nanti. And you can always double check with me if you're not sure what is the conservation status of that organism. You can also come here and just learn about a lot of other organisms. Okay. All right, I'm done talking. Do you have any other questions? Ada soalan lain? Miss, boleh minta kah yang example? Boleh, nanti saya tunjukkan yang example. Paling penting mesti hantar draft. Okay, everybody must submit draft. I will open a slot in the Google Classroom. Okay, since this is fairly obvious, I'll tell you anyway. I know it's fairly obvious, but I'll tell you anyway. It's easier for you to go for animals and plants. Don't take a picture of the paper and tell me that you found bacteria, you found paramecium, you found plasmodium species. Okay, no need to take picture of microorganisms. Your camera is not that expensive. Fungi, it's hard to identify fungi if you're not sure. Kalau macam mushroom yang memang kamu pandai tengok mushroom, then boleh. Okay, mana tahu kamu jalan-jalan around KML, di pokok ini, pokok itu kamu jumpa ada kulat yang kamu kenal, a mushroom that you recognize, then you can include mushroom, no problem. But don't leave your bread out too long until it grows mold and then you tell me that is Rhizopus species. Okay, benda yang kita susah mau identify, susah untuk confirm, sebaik-baiknya jangan pilih. Saya tidak mau tengok roti kamu yang berkulat. Alright, what else do I need to tell you? Oh yeah, I want if possible everybody in the class don't have the same organism. Nanti saya akan sediakan Google Sheet. I like Google Sheets, so I'm gonna make Google Sheet. After you found your organism, you isi the Google Sheet. Okay. Okay, kalau boleh setiap orang dalam kelas itu gunakan organisme yang berbeza. So kalau ada sudah orang yang pilih pokok bambu, orang lain sila cari spesies bambu yang lain ataupun cari bunga raya kah, bunga daisy kah, cari itu penyangat kah, you go and choose something else. Kalau ramai orang pilih organisme yang sama, saya terpaksa tolak markah untuk kamu. Because there is so many options. Even in KML, there is definitely more than 50 organisms that you can choose. Hari itu ada salah seorang daripada lecturer kami, dia jalan-jalan daripada Dewan Kuliah pergi kepada BT saja dan kawasan sekeliling, dia jumpa approximately lah 35 spesies tumbuhan. Kalau dia tengok segala kumbang-kumbang, semut-semut, cacing-cacing yang ada di sana, definitely more than 50 species. Biawak pun ada di KML. So like, we're very biodiverse. So go and choose lots of different organisms. Yang penting kamu cuba untuk identify lah. Now you are very fortunate because you live in the age of technology. So there are many apps for you to identify the organisms. So kalau plants, hari itu ada lecturer satu orang ni, dia jumpa satu app untuk identify plants. So nanti saya akan share. Kalau untuk haiwan, saya tidak tahu lah if there's any special apps. But what you can do, Android users, is you can use your Google Lens. So if you're, I'm stopping presenting. If you're looking here, you have the Google Lens app. Use that app. You can take picture of your surroundings or upload a picture and you are dia macam terus search menggunakan gambar lah. Contoh, for example, I take a picture of this plant. Okay, I take picture of this plant. And then I can go and search. Then daripada result tu akan ada banyak option. So it will show it here. And then I can click any of the article. And I can learn more about plants. Now I know my plant is called Sansevieria rhizomes. So you can try that. Bagi Apple iPhone users, I think you need to download the app. Ataupun guna dia punya browser extension. Okay, so that's it. Do you have any more questions before I end the call? Lebih 1 jam sudah. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have class? Okay, no questions. All right. Then any more questions, you can feel free to ask in the Telegram groups or in the WhatsApp groups. Don't be shy. Or you can ask me personally. I will send you the examples and things later. Thank you very much for your time and attention. That is the end of our call today. Thank you. Habis kelas.